Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am going to tackle just making a double crust for a pie. That way there's just one video up there if anybody wants to know how to make just a pie crust. So that's what we're going to do today. Hi, I'm Karen, and this is Grandma's New England Kitchen. For the pie crust, I'm going to do 2.5 cups of flour. This is freshly milled white, soft white wheat. You can use just a bread flour or an all-purpose flour, but this is freshly milled and then sifted really fine. Then after that, it's going to be 2 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And you want to go ahead and process all of it. And that just brings everything together. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I actually need to go and get my butter out of the freezer. So I've already cubed 16 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of butter. And I like to keep it in there till the very last second. So I'm going to go and grab that, and we'll get that processing in here and get the rest of it done. I am back with my butter. So here's minus 1 cube. Put that in a little bit, but get ice cold butter down in there, and you want to pulse it about 6 times, 6 to 8. Okay, now after the butter, and what we're doing is trying to get them cut down into little tiny cube-sized pieces. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is 6 tablespoons of ice cold water. There it is. 6 tablespoons of ice cold water and 4 tablespoons of sour cream. So I have the 4 tablespoons of sour cream already down in here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and this is just to thin out the sour cream. And I use a chopstick to do it. So I will pour this. So I mix 2 tablespoons of ice cold water and with my sour cream to thin it out. And then the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put a little bit, put 1 more tablespoon down in there to try to get the last of this. I want it all in there. Okay, so that's 3 tablespoons of water has gone in there already. So 4, 5, and 6. So let's start this up. I may need to add a little bit more water, but I'm going to let this run until it forms a ball. Yep, it definitely needs some more water. So I'll put 1 more tablespoon down in there. Not yet. So let's get some more water. I should just leave that off. looks like it may be 9 tablespoons that it's taken today. So that's the 9th tablespoon of water. There we go. It does need just a little bit more. And I may be over processing this. There we go. We've got a ball. What you're going to look for before you take it out is, can you pick up the dough? Can you squeeze it together? And does it hold? And it does. Okay, so we are going to take this out, form it into 2 discs, get it wrapped up, and into the refrigerator. So let me get everything set up to roll out or get these discs done. What we want to do now, I did go ahead and take the blade out, and that's just get everything out of here. And we're going to form it into one ball. And then I want to weigh it. So it's 756 grams. Okay, so we're going to go to 378 grams is what we want. I'm going to try to go down the half. That's 420. 402. 382. 379, that's good enough. Okay, put this aside to clean it when I'm done. Okay, so what we want to do is form 2 discs. And try not to handle it too much. It just went through a lot of processing and we don't want to melt the butter too much. Get it wrapped up in some plastic. And I like flatten it out more after I get it into the plastic. So there's one. Let me get my other sheet of plastic. And again, wrap it up. And I will take both of these and put them in the refrigerator for about an hour to 2 hours. And then we will bring them out whenever you need to use them. Tonight I'm going to be using them for doing a chicken pot pie. But if you're going to do an apple pie, you can use these. The dough is not completely savory. It does have sugar in it, but it's not too much sugar either. I hope you give them a try. And this is just making the dough. When you do bring them out, they can stay in there for a couple of days, but when you do bring them out, make sure you let them come to room temperature some, put plenty of flour down on your surface, and then start rolling it out, whatever you need for. I'm going to go ahead and roll out one of the pie crust. And it's been in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And the first thing that you want to do is put flour down. I'll put that down on there and more flour on the top. And then start rolling it out. Keep moving it around just to make sure it's not sticking to the marble. And pie crust does take a little bit to do. If you start getting any cracks, just patch them together. And then continue on. If you've watched any of my other ones, there's usually more pie crust dough anyway, and you're trimming it off, so I've never really had too much of a problem when it comes to it cracking. Okay, let's check. And go just a little bit more since I am using a deep dish pie plate. There we go. So what you want to do is roll it up. The pie plate down. Just roll it down in there and shift it around. Beep. Now, one of the great things is you can patch it. This is going to be the under crust anyway. If you're really good at getting a circle, you usually don't have to worry about doing this part. That is the inner crust, and I know that this is not the prettiest, but I just wanted to roll one out. I don't have anything pretty going on here yet, but I at least wanted to show it rolled out. The next thing I am going to do is move on and make a chicken pot pie now. That is my main reason for doing the crust, but I wanted just a crust video. If anybody wanted to look at just making a crust, on how to make a crust, they can find it real easy. Look for the chicken pot pie and you'll see how this continues on. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you give this pie dough a try. It's not difficult to work with. I'm going on a very deep dish pie here. I probably could have rolled it out a little bit better. But like I said, there's going to be a top one that goes on. So you can look for that video and see. So here it is. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you.